kind of strange, really, because the Sixers have had a lot of great teams, but the Magic have had much success here in Philly. Closed captioning is available for tonight's broadcast. The game can also be heard in Spanish by selecting the SAP option on your TV. Inside quickly to Howard. Dalembert, the league's leading shot blocker, but he didn't have
for foul trouble. He likes to get his touches, likes to get some scoring opportunities inside, when really he'd be better off just playing off Allen Iverson and Chris Webber, picking up their table scraps. Bryant telling us before the game that he wants to involve Iverson and Webber in as many pick and roll situations as possible. A, because they don't defend it well. B, wants to make them work at that end because he knows in a hard way there by Dalembert, but he'd almost looking like Jameer Nelson was playing. You're going to see a lot of that. Allen Iverson able to the lane and shoot those little floaters.
Pick and roll involving Dwight Howard that time. And Parsons. Driving baseline, Dalembert.
They should have lost 2 of those 3 and were just very lucky.
Dalembert is Howard backing away to keep from picking up his second foul. Francis with the shot clock ticking down. Turkoglu 4-3.
Well, they have been booing on a regular basis.
But a splendid move by Iverson, and a foul on Francis, his second.
Allen Iverson muttering to himself right now on the live action, but just that quick crossover, and ouch. Very difficult to defend that. I don't care who you are. Steve unhappy with a number. That's why a lot of people thought that Philadelphia would be in the Ron Artest Derby to improve their defense. The penalty.
Iverson gets to the basket to cut the lead to 1 again. Iverson's got 9. Iverson and Webber both have 9 points apiece for Philly. Here's Iguodala. And a foul. Philly goes into the list.
Center in the league that we've seen defend Dwight. There are not many of them. Brendan Haywood in the early part of the season did a good job.
What I was going to say. Iverson from up top has 11 in this first period. Rebound Iverson. Under a minute to play in the quarter. Iverson again. Good again.
Hedo Turkoglu picking up Iverson in the open court in transition. Has to give a lot of ground.
Much clock as possible. About 2-second difference in the clocks. Iverson dueling, trying to control him. And Iverson hits the...
And generally gets that call. He gets to the free throw line more than any other player in the NBA at 11 a game. And when he's going to the free throw line double figures plus, generally a long night for the opponent.
Having his best year scoring-wise. Magic with the ball on a 2-point lead. Steve Francis is back in the game after picking up a couple of early fouls. Francis feeding Garrity. Pat Garrity drills it. He drew iron.
I think that was his main goal, too.
Show everybody I'm not that bad.
Just hit something.
Garrity for 3. Woo. Boy, nothing but this.
They're not as good as New Jersey when they have...
Cross court to Francis. Shot clock is down to 4. But T's turnaround jumper is a Buchler didn't spot it, so the Magic bring it back out. Keon Dooling turns the corner. Francis driving, kicks it out to Turkoglu. 2-pointer for Turk. Rather, 1 free throw to go with that field goal. But T from Francis, 9th lead for the Magic. And Orlando should get another possession. Iverson dribbles the clock down. The shot clock is at 5 as he goes to work. Driving under the rim, finds Hunter for the dunk. Magic turned the ball over. Iverson gives to Salmons for 3. John Salmons with his what?
Has the ball too much.
That's going to happen here. Francis drills it. Much needed field goal for the Magic. Their first of the third quarter.
Guarding Allen Iverson, trying to keep the ball out of his hands as much as possible. That's a good thing to do, but it's going to open up some other things for the other 4 Sixers.
Steven, Sean not looking for much offense tonight.
But he's working hard on Iverson, and it demands hard work. But going to launch whenever he feels like it. And you can feel the other three players with the shoulders sagging.
Webber for three. Chris Webber only a 7th three-point field goal of the year.
Initiator and the finisher.
Oh, goaltending. The basket will count and a foul on the Magic.
Iverson getting a pass dueling. And the officials ruled that that was on the way down. That's his first field goal in a long time.
He missed 7.
Those, especially to his left, has really developed that kind of a patented move for him. He just runs into the defender, which is a smart play by him, especially when the other team is over the limit, and then acts as if he was shot with a cannon. When he was the guy doing the bumping.
He initiated the contact on that replay we saw just a moment ago.
Trying to stop these fast breaks. Well, it's because Allen Iverson is penetrating, getting himself below the free throw line extended. And also, Andre Iguodala, when he's on the floor, it's Matt Barnes now. These guys just indiscriminately go to the offensive board. But that's why they give up so many fast break points. Their transition defense is horrendous.
Francis cashing in on the first of 2. Steve has 10 assists. That's a season high.
Sorry, Iguodala is still out.
See, again, trying to deal with Allen Iverson. Iverson goes back to the line. You pointed out, Matty, he's shooting more free throws than anybody in the league, 11.1 per game. And he also makes a high percentage of them. Almost 80% go in. An offensive rebound. Iverson reloads for 3. Sixers have cut the lead in half. In there, this is his 10th year in the NBA. MVP in 2001, a 5-time, 6-time All-Star, going to be 7.
And you hear about the possibility, but I have not even seen any kind of a combination of players that have been offered.
That to go to reach his average here with just over 1 quarter left in Philadelphia. Orlando with a 4-point lead.
And he's just taken over the lead in rebounding over Ben Wallace.
Long 3 by Korver is good.
All different kinds of people to try to stop him, and no way could they get it done, and Magic just kept going to him.
Matt Barnes has hit a couple of shots for Philadelphia. Iverson with the loose ball. Ahead to Iguodala. He puts it in, driving on Pat Garrity. It's a 1-point game. That's a screen. Back to Chris Webber. Sixers have the lead for the first time since
basically at the 8-minute mark, and that's probably what Maurice had in mind. Try to get him as rested as possible.
Dueling switches on Iverson. Iverson falls down but feeds it to D'Alembert. Samuel D'Alembert with a fadeaway jump shot.
With the Sixers over the limit, you don't want to continue.
Dueling is on Iverson. Webber launching it for 3. Francis to Howard. He'll throw it down. Didn't need both hands for that one.
Nope.
And that kept the lead back to 1.
Good take that time by Steve Francis and not getting himself caught too deep.
Iverson. Here's Iverson with the ball. Driving, falling away, banking it in. Look, still a 3-point game. Francis, season opening. Count it. Steve Francis will have a chance to tie the game. Driving it to the basket. Philadelphia parting at the defensive end, and Francis taking it strong to the hoop. Well, the Magic have a chance to tie the game when we come back.
By Pat Garrity's shot blocking, but just the presence of Pat at 6'9" or so, and all Iverson did was draw a foul by just leaning in.
Garrity checking out of the game with 5 personal fouls. Tony Batiste checks in. Kyle Korver will sit down, and Stephen Hunter checks in.
Offense, defense situation.
Iverson with 33 seconds left in the game. Francis one-on-one with Iguodala. Turkoglu turns it loose, drills it for three. Hedo Turkoglu waving to the walk point. Magic lead, 4:10 to play in overtime. Iguodala defending Turkoglu. Francis gets past his defender. Garrity, same spot, same result. Iverson driving off the glass and into the basket for Allen Iverson. Cuts the lead. Iverson scored a moment ago. He'll drive again. Two defenders come, but he puts it in. 4-0 run after the Magic increase the lead to 4. Iverson jumping over two defenders. Nothing but net. Allen Iverson with 6 over 2 threes by Pat Garrity. But the Sixers have fought back. Sean Stevenson to Steve Francis. Francis for the jumper. Banked it in. Beauty by Francis to give the Magic a 3-point lead. Now and they inbound it, lob it up high for Iguodala. Boy, that didn't take long to cut the